Hey everybody, we are teaching Vermillion, and this time we're going to talk about color harmony. Now, color harmony really comes into making a palette for a picture. Whether you're designing an advertisement or a logo, or I'm making political art or art with some kind of message, any kind of art where we're creating the image ourselves from scratch, we can come up with colors that really get that message across and work together. Now, if I'm just doing representational art, copying a photograph or creating an existing landscape, then color harmony isn't as important because I'm going to be pulling colors directly from the picture, directly from the context. But if I'm creating a color palette for a whole new image, here are some ways that color harmony can give you the colors to work with, and you know they're going to work together and have the message you want. Now, the most simple form of color harmony for a color design would be monochrome, taking one color and just going lighter and darker within that same shade. So for example, if I was going to use, let's grab my filbert here, and I'm just going to say the blues. So I could go with darker shades of blue and lighter shades of blue and even add some white to get an even paler shade of blue, or add some black to get an even darker shade of blue. But they're all shades of blue. And they're all shades of the same blue in general as well. The advantage, of course, is all those colors will go nicely together. Nothing will be jarring. Nothing will really stand out. We will use lighter and darker to do shadow and contrast and context and shape. But by limiting our palette, it really focuses on the content, the image itself. Many famous artists would do entire periods of just one color, really exploring how they can use that color most expressively. Monochrome for color harmony. Now, another form of color harmony is called analogous colors, or colors that are close together on the wheel. So if I'm starting with a nice bright orange, you can see how the reds and yellows flow into each other. The farther I get from orange, the more different that color is going to be. But as long as I stay to the adjacent colors, the colors next door, all the reds, oranges, and yellows will play nice together. Or if I start with green as my main, I can bleed a bit into the yellows and blues without really worrying about mixing the color I'm working with. Yellows and blues give you the warmth and cool, as well as highlight and shadow, so you can get more variety than just a monochrome painting. Little bits spilling into the neighboring colors, often called analogous colors, because they work together. The moment we start introducing entirely new colors, so the moment I get anywhere into the reds and oranges, you're going too far. You really want to just stay the colors right next door to be analogous, to stay together. So we could either go monochrome, or we could go to the neighboring colors for a little more variety. Now, another form of design is going to be bringing in our contrasting, sometimes called complementary colors. So if we go directly across red and green, blue and orange, let's get some more color here, blue and orange, purple and yellow. But it also goes to the halves colors. Reddish orange goes against bluish green. Reddish purple goes against yellowish green, that type of thing. So these contrasting colors, as long as you're limiting your content, you don't have huge amounts of both colors, they're going to be a very vibrant, bold design. All the pieces really stand out because purple and yellow really stand out against each other. The more you use these contrasting colors, the more it's going to be really punchy. So a vibrant red and a vibrant green are going to punch you in the face. If I go for a deep dark green with a bright red, they're really going to stand out bold and vibrant. They won't want to work together, but they will draw the eye and really bring the attention. contrasting colors. Careful about overdoing them and pulling the eye too many ways, just looks too gaudy. But there is a way that you can really make them punch. We did a video about contrasting colors, showing you how a bright red and yellow painting, just a single splash of blue is like a bolt of lightning. Contrast colors. It's almost a disharmony, but as long as they make your statement clear, it should very strongly, boldly represent you and really stand out. Contrasting colors. Now, a variation is called split contrast. So instead of going directly across like that, I'm going to break my line here. And instead of just going straight across, we can actually bring these colors to the adjacent analogous. We're going to call this a split contrast. Normally, red's opposite is green, so we're going to bring in blue greens and yellow greens instead. It's not going to be as harsh. We can get more variety, more things happening. Maybe I'll have blue and yellow greens as sort of an ocean plant background, and then red is the text across it, so it stands out bold and vibrant. But this gives us a few more colors to work with, and it's not going to be as much of a punch in the face. It's still going to be vibrant, it's still going to be bold, but now we're working with the colors a little closer together. We're bleeding in a little bit off the edges rather than a pure contrast. So we've got monochrome, analogous, contrast, and split contrast as different ways of building up color libraries. Some people will use a system called, I think it's a variation on a tertiary, where we've actually got 3 colors. In this case, we could go with our primaries, blue, red, and yellow. We could do a tertiary using purple, orange, and green as another way of combining the 3 colors. All 3 colors on a painting is going to feel very bold. In fact, a lot of those are used for things like elementary school or children's productions, because red, yellow, blue, bright, vibrant colors of the variety really give it an energetic feeling, but the 3 colors together pull you in different directions. It doesn't have as much vibrant focus as a pure contrast does. A tertiary combinations can work together, but you need a lot more control over which is really dominant. How are you building your image using these completely different colors? The final one that some people will talk about is basically using a square, a quad formation, 4 instead of 3. One way to think about it, if I have blue and orange and yellow and purple as my opposites, orange and purple in the same painting as blue and yellow. Sort of like that. So using these colors with those colors. Now with 4 colors, it is a much more complicated design. You do have a lot more juggling of composition, of content to make these colors work together. But by not going analogous, but by bringing in opposites, this is how we're really going to start making complex designs, but thinking ahead of time of which color scheme are we going for. Maybe this is supposed to be a more natural painting, so I'll bring in greens and purples with yellow, orange, and red purples as more highlights and objects. Find those opposition colors and the way we can use them judiciously. So the most harmonious is simple monochromatic. The least harmonious is bringing in up to 4 different colors. You can make them work, but even like a 4-part harmony in music, you really need to judge carefully what composition, what proportion, how vibrant you use these colors. So if I use deep, dark blues and purples, but then really bright yellows and oranges, how is that going to work? How is that going to look in your composition? You're not listed to just one either. You can make many paintings. One of the nice things about Vermillion is I could take a painting and save as new multiple copies. So I can then go in and try different colors, different combinations, and then compare which is the one I actually like best. So feel free to see how these colors work for you. Start with a monochrome painting and really see how just light and dark can bring out your expression. Then we'll start bringing in other harmonious colors, whether you're just analogous or you want to try some complementary. Give it a try. Let us know how it works. Leave us messages in the comments below. Let us know if you have more questions, or even if you just want to show off some of your examples. We've been discussing color harmony and the main ways people come up with their color schemes, usually by picking colors that are going to work with their message and finding what colors support them best. Usually the colors on the same part of the wheel work closely together, whereas colors on the opposite side of the wheel will stand out boldly. That's good enough for now. Let us know what you think. See you next time. Have fun painting in Vermillion. Take care, everyone.